Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the November 15th, 2023 meeting of Chatham's Historic Business District Commission. As soon as our clerk, Sam Stryber, gets through reading the governor's directives concerning this meeting, we'll do a roll call of the members who are present, and we'll be reviewing the applications this afternoon. Sam, would you please read the governor's directive?
Yes. Pursuant to Governor Healy's March 29, 2023 signing of the Acts of 2023 extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law GLC 30A para 20 until March 31, 2025. This meeting of the Chatham Historic Business Commission is being conducted in person via remote participation. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that people who would like to listen to this meeting while in progress may do so by calling the phone number 1-508-945-4410. Conference ID 280-445-355 #, or join the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the link in the posted agenda. While this is a live broadcast and simulcast on Chatham TV, despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide real-time access. We will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. In accordance with the town policy, the public can speak to any issue, hearing, or business item on the agenda during the meeting when recognized by the chair.
Thank you so much, Sam. All right, we'll do our roll call, and we'll start with our Vice Chair, Darcy Sequin.
Darcy Sequin is here.
Our Clerk, Sam Stryber.
Sam Stryber is here.
Okay, regular member Bob Burns.
Bob Burns is here.
Regular member Doug Grattan.
Doug Ratton is here.
Steve DeBoer, our first alternate.
Steve DeBoer is here.
Okay, we do not expect Tim Gilmore this evening, and Dan Silver, the chair, is here. Very good. First order of business will be the minutes, and as soon as the minutes are approved, we'll move on to the application. And when our clerk, Sam Stryber, reads your application, we ask that you move to one of the podiums on our right, and that you give it, yes, introduce yourself and give us a brief synopsis of your project, and we'll go on from there. All right. Let's see. As I said, the minutes review, and those minutes are of the meeting held November 1st. Is there any comments?
Doug Ratton will make a motion to accept the minutes as presented. All right.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Okay, motion is made, seconded. All right. All ready to vote? Steve, you were here.
Yes, I would vote to approve.
Bob?
Bob Burns approves.
Darcy?
Darcy Sequin approves.
Sam?
Sam Stryber approves.
Doug?
Doug Ratton approves.
And Dan Silver approves as well. Very good. Thank you. All right, Sam, our first,
First applicant is the signs application, 23-121 Branches Grill and Cafe, care of Ian Burt. Application to replace the ground sign located at 155 Kroll Road.
thank you, Sam. And I was remiss in not mentioning that Sarah Clark, the Central Permitting Coordinator, and Chantel
Yes,
Kilkenny, Community Development Administrative Assistant, is with us. Yes, Sam, go ahead.
She has determined that the proposed sign complies with the sign bylaw.
Thank you, Sam. Very good. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
What you up to?
Excuse me. Branches Grill and Cafe. I'm Ian Burt, by the way, and I represent Branches Grill and Cafe. So this month, Black Friday, we are going to be 5 years in, and wow. So everyone loves everything that's there that we have right now at the time, but we'd like to make new changes for the new year. You know, everyone, new restaurant to want to looking new again. So with the colors, hopefully everyone would like it. It's you can see we still have the branches. I still have a little tree, but with the colors, just a little changes in the colors. Hopefully it matches with the existing one that's there now, Eastward Company, and everyone will accept the changes that we have. And also the one on the building as well, it's basically the same, different size.
All right, I think we all know where that is. And this, we're dealing with a ground sign right now, so, Steve, would you like to start us off?
I don't have any questions or concerns. It might actually be a little bit easier to read. The new one might, with the black or darker background. I don't have any questions.
Okay, Darcy?
I think the sign is appropriate for the area, and it's very nice, and I agree with Steve. I think you'll probably get some more business for that.
Thank you so much.
Sam?
Well, I like the design much better than the old sign. It just seems to be cleaner and has a little more impact to the name. I'm curious, though, where the soft pink is.
Where,
Right here.
Oh, where's the imitation gold?
Cindy, like we're like,
That's imitation gold. That's,
I think that's
I
pink.
don't know.
I think
Anyway.
the word American is pink.
American is imitation gold, I would say.
That's pink. I believe it's
And
pink.
so where's the pink? Well, anyway, I think these are very Caribbean colors, so I'm okay with
Thank
them.
you. Thank you very
And I
much.
think they're in such small amounts that it isn't aggravating.
thank you very much. And our artist who done it is, of course, our local artist from Chatham Sign Company, and he thought
Where's the pink?
you will like it as well.
Okay.
Okay, Doug?
I like it very much, and I think it's very appropriate, and I think it's an
where's the-
improvement on what's there, so no questions from me.
It's just black.
Yeah, I definitely think it's an improvement too.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So under signs, application 23-121, Branches Grill and Cafe, care of Ian Burt. Application to replace the ground sign located at 155 Kroll Road, as presented.
Darcy Seacon will second the motion.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Ready to vote, Steve?
I would vote to approve as presented.
Bob?
Bob Burns approves.
Darcy Seacon approves.
Sam Stryber approves.
Doug Ratton approves.
Dan Silver approves as well. Thank you, sir. Now we'll move on to.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Thanks for
One
having me.
more.
If you-
One more.
Hold on.
Application 23-122, Branches Grill and Cafe, care of Ian Burt. Application to replace the wall sign on the structure located at 155 Kroll Road. And I will add that the permitting coordinator has determined that the proposed sign complies with the sign bylaw.
If you'll introduce yourself again, sir.
Oh, certainly. So, yeah, again, same thing, just different size, and then on the building, I think you will see a much cleaner and brighter matches the color on the building as well.
All right. Steve?
Yeah, I have no comment. I think it's a nice sign. I think, again, it stands out better than the previous one, so I think it's a good idea.
Bob?
Ian, one question. On the building, it looks like the branches are a different color than what's on the street sign?
No, the street sign is the same identical colors.
Oh, okay, because I saw some green, so it's brown? Branches are brown?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. No, it looks good. No further questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Darcy?
Appropriate for the area. Looks good.
Thank you very much.
I have no questions.
Doug?
I like it as well, no questions.
No, I think it's nice and clean and it looked really nice up there. All right, Doug?
All right, so under application signs, application 23-122, Branches Grill and Cafe, care of Ian Burt. Application to replace the wall sign on the structure located at 155 Kroll Road as presented.
Darcy Seacon will second the motion.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Steve?
I would vote to approve.
Bob Burns approves.
Darcy Sequin approves.
Sam Starbird approves.
Doug Ratton approves.
And Dan Silver approves as well. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Nice,
Thank
nice,
you.
Nice work. All right.
So, we have a site improvement application, 23-123, JSLW LLC, care of Antonio Butwell. Application to install generator located at 584 Main Street.
Very good. Hi.
Hello, I'm Antonia Botwell, and I'm an architect representing Sandy Wyckoff and Jeff Lang, the owners of 584 Main Street. The application is, as Sam stated, the proposal to install a generator in the rear of the building. I've included for your review a basic site plan. Those are some photos of where it will be located. There's kind of a narrow rear yard behind the building, not visible from the street. And if you scroll down on that page, you can see a little more detail on that space. So we're showing the minimum 5-foot setback from the rear property line, and the approximate location of the generator behind the building.
All right. Doug,
I have no questions. Looks pretty straightforward to me.
Sam?
It looks like it's, have you met all the zoning conditions for the generator location?
Yeah, my understanding is the 5-foot rear setback was the most limiting, and we've met that by a few inches there, so we verified that in the field.
And is there a relatively low noise?
I have the specifications on the last page. I'd have to review a little bit further, but it's a pretty standard generator.
Okay,
And it's back behind the building near other mechanical equipment, so it's kind of tucked away with the rest of the noise that would be made.
okay, I have no further questions.
Darcy?
I have no questions.
Okay, Doug?
No questions.
Yeah, they seem to be the appliance de jour. Everybody's putting them in. I have no questions. Fine with me. No?
No, I have no questions.
I have no questions.
Okay.
Okay, so Doug Ratton will make a motion on the site improvement, application 23-123, JSLW LLC, care of Antonia Butwell. Application to install generator located at 584 Main Street as presented.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Last chance for any comments? No? Anybody? Anybody in the audience? No? Okay, Steve?
I would vote to approve as presented.
Bob?
Bob Burns approves.
Darcy Sequin approves.
Sam Stryver approves.
Doug Ratton approves.
And Dan Silver approves as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck with it.
Thanks.
All right, Sam.
We have a continued hearing, an addition and alterations. The Sumner Family Trust, care of Insight LLC, application to install 11 solar panels on dwelling located at 28 Cross Street, continued from October 18th, 2023, and November 1, 2023.
All right, do we have someone virtually? Okay.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we do. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is Manny Lopes, and I'm representing Insight LLC. I'm the electrician for the company.
All righty. I know we had a few questions. Let's see if we can't get those rectified. I answered. Doug?
I saw the revised plan, and I don't have any more questions. I'm happy with what the results they did.
Okay. Sam?
Okay, well, one thing, you've organized the panels so that they're a little bit more proportionate and in a relationship with the roof that they're on. So that's very good. I'm a little concerned about this junction box. How big is that?
Are you talking about the junction box up on the roof, sir?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's mounted on the roof, isn't it?
It is, but it's going to be underneath the panel, sir. You won't be able to see it.
What did he say?
It's underneath the panel.
What?
It's underneath the panel, you won't see it.
Oh, it's underneath the panel. Oh, okay.
Correct.
And then,
Correct.
and
I
then the
think-
conduit goes into the roof and down to the equipment?
So we're gonna we're gonna go through the basement from the panel, and we're gonna have to mount a disconnect outside by the meter. So if the meter's in the front of the house, we have to put a disconnect there per, I think it's Eversource that you guys have, the utility company. Per their regulations, we have to have a disconnect by there. But we're gonna go through the basement so we can either go up the back of the house or the side of the house where you can't see the conduit, and go up to the roof, and then underneath the panels is going to be the junction box, and you won't be able to see that.
I really couldn't understand that because it's garbled some
Well,
way.
it's going,
Is it inside the roof or not?
goes to the basement and then comes back
Goes
up.
to the basement and then out to the panels?
Yep,
So then it has to go through the house.
yeah,
So it must go from the junction box.
that's what, yeah, it goes the other way, yeah, whichever way you want to direct it.
So the answer to my question is yes.
I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me a little bit better now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, so the conduit's going to come out of the house, and it's going to go up the side of the house or in the back of the house up to the panels up top, into the junction box that will be underneath the panels. If we can go through the house and into the attic and punch out underneath the panels, then we will do so.
I just want to be sure you're not going over the roof and then around the gutter and then down the wall.
Negative. No.
That would be
No, we
very
will not be
unsuitable.
doing. Are you talking about the front of the building, sir?
are you talking about the conduit? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yes, he is.
Yeah, we won't be going up, yes, we won't be going up the front of the house, no.
it's,
Will it be going up over the gutter?
It shouldn't be, no.
It
We can
shouldn't
go
be, no.
through the, we
it shouldn't.
can go through the
Exactly.
side.
It shouldn't. But does he know?
Correct.
Are you sure?
I know that it's not, yes, I'm sure it's not gonna go around the
Okay.
gutter.
Okay,
I have no questions.
okay. Doug,
I have no questions.
Bob,
I have no questions.
Steve?
I don't have any other questions.
No, I think we've worked that one out. So,
All right,
I
so,
understand what, yeah, it's not gonna go, it's not gonna interfere with what you were concerned about before, Sam.
Yeah.
should I mention that it should not, the conduit cannot go over the gutter in my motion? Or what would you like me to do?
I don't know.
He
they
said it's
say
not.
going to.
He said it's not going to.
Okay, all right, so under, Doug Rowland, under continued hearing, addition/alterations, application 23-113, the Summer Family Trust, care of Insight LLC. Application to install 11 solar panels on the dwelling located at 28 Cross Street, continued from October 18th, 2023 and November 1st, 2023, as presented.
Darcy Seacon will second the motion.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Further discussion, anybody? No? Steve?
I would vote to approve.
Bob?
Bob Burns approves.
Darcy Seacon approves.
Sam Stravert approves.
Doug Ratton approves.
Dan Silver approves. Thank you very much. Get through that one.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
Sam.
Okay, so we have a continued hearing, new construction, 23-118, three-story on Main LLC, care of Meager Construction Incorporated, application to construct a new dwelling located at 1369 Main Street, continued from November 1st,
Very good.
2023.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm George Gakitas, Gakitas Stewart Design Group Architects, representing Tim Meager for the project.
You're the fast ones.
Yeah.
And I'm
The
Kim
representative,
Aquis with
yep.
Miga Construction Project Manager.
All righty, we've looked through this before. What can you tell us about the changes? I see
So,
there are some.
I wasn't present for the first presentation, and apparently there was questions about the gambrel, and we had a gambrel over the garage, which we have eliminated, and it was a slightly different pitch than the main house, and I think that probably was a little distracting for people to see two different pitches. So we kind of simplified it to have a singular gambrel at the front entrance, and that is basically the same pitch around the entire house. Now, we actually did a rendering to kind of show you three-dimensionally.
You can't go away from,
So, I don't know. So.
She can pass it around as you talk, if you
Yeah,
like.
can I
If you-
pass it?
If you must have that memorized by now.
We've added some dental over the front gable at the top pediment. And that wasn't in the earlier proposal either.
I have a question, along with the odd little roof that's gone, you've also removed a window or two, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. We'll see if those are significant enough to, that seems like the major change, that roof and those windows.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's find out what they think. Steve?
Well, thank you for making some of the changes that you just described. I still am a little disappointed that it's going to face the vineyard. You've got a very nice-looking house here, I think, but no one's going to see it except the neighbors across the street. And the only thing that people are going to see are two fairly prominent garage doors as they pass by on Main Street. So, you know, I like what you've done here, but I'm still a little disappointed about the layout and the orientation on the property.
May I grab the board real quick?
Sure.
No, I don't really need that. So the existing house that is currently there had a fire and so forth, everyone knows that. It was built in 1974, so it's approximately 59 years that the driveway's been facing Vineyard Avenue. There's been a lot of growth on the main street. You can still see the house, but it doesn't say front, doesn't say entry. We've spoken to the building commissioner, and he's the one who assigns the addresses to properties. And we are going to change the address to Vineyard Avenue. So that is our plan, and we think that it needs to address Vineyard Avenue more than Main Street. Now, currently,
You're gonna have to go to the
microphone.
mic.
You can move the,
yeah, it's okay. Currently, this is the existing house here. This is 10 Vineyard Avenue. It's on Main Street, but it faces Vineyard. This is I'm not sure, Pond View. This is 20 Pond View. It's on Main Street, faces Pond View. This is 7 Pond View, on Main Street, faces Pond View. I'm not sure exactly what those guys are, but they don't have the addresses to Main Street. And then there's a couple more examples here on different properties that are on Main Street that don't have the address on Main Street. So that's kind of, we're not doing something unusual. We're, you know, it's also a life safety thing too. I mean, everyone knows where everyone lives. But if an ambulance is coming or someone who doesn't know the property, you could actually drive right past that location and not know that's the address because there's no driveway. but that's neither here nor there. Our intentions are to change the address to Vineyard Avenue. So that's why the orientation is still the way we have it.
Does that tell you anything you want
Well,
to Steve?
yeah, it tells me that it's not gonna change the orientation of the house on the lot, but other than that, it's a fine-looking house. I just, my preference would be to have it face Main Street, but it's okay.
You want the garage doors facing Vineyard Avenue?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought, that the house could just be switched and put the garage on the other end of the house, and then the garages would then exit to Vineyard, and the house would face forward.
Well, the house is rectangular, so I think that would change the whole shape of everything if you did that. The whiter part would be,
So the nature of the gambrel and the way we're exactly using it, and this is kind of why we did the rendering to show the three-dimensionality of the building itself. It's essentially,
You
essentially,
have to stay the microphone.
yeah, it's essentially four gambrels facing, so it's a very three-dimensional object. And when you see it on the skew, it's actually more interesting than seeing it straight on. I mean, we don't really see anything straight on, it's very analytical, but in reality, it's, you know, a three-dimensional space we're dealing with.
okay, well, Darcy, do you have,
You want to see Bob first?
well, yeah, Bob, I'm sorry. You were so quiet, I didn't even know you were there anymore.
Because you missed me last time. Question on, the garages today are facing Vineyard. The house, it's rectangular today. So if that faces Vineyard, are you repouring a foundation? You take,
Oh, it's a whole new construction.
because last time was the same footprint, so I think you had mentioned
Well, no, it's the same
square footage?
size.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have a zoning issue with the size, so the footprint is essentially the same as what's existing. It's just being reconfigured in a new location.
And so you meet all the setbacks
Correct.
from Main Street and also your neighbors on the right-hand side?
Yeah, we have two front setbacks, which is pushing the house where it is.
Because I drove by today and I was worried, I said, this facing Vineyard is pretty big, based on that rectangular shape of the,
It's actually a little skewed, so it's not exactly parallel to Vineyard, so. If, I don't, you have the site plan?
That one right there.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, no further questions.
Okay, Darcy?
So I have to agree with Steve about the orientation. Couple questions for you. There's a retaining wall and a set of stairs that come down on the north elevation right now, correct? So how far out is that
Well,
garage gonna be?
You actually, because the garage is almost like a walkout, you're not gonna even see the garage doors from the street.
I'm asking you, how far out is it? The way you wanna orientate the house, how far out does that garage come in relation to the stairs that are there now? I'm trying to picture in my mind.
The existing stairs are you talking about?
Say that again?
Are you talking about the existing
The
stairs
existing,
now?
yes.
Okay. On the,
If you go back to the existing site plan, is that on there?
yeah.
While you're looking for that, are those trees gonna stay? Okay. Yeah, I'd like to know the answer to that. How far out is that house gonna come?
Yeah, we don't have that drawing that overlaps the two. I mean, I can step over there and kind of show you roughly where it is, because there's
The
two,
steps are coming down from the
you-
original.
yeah.
If you could pull up a picture of the existing house with the stairs, the front of the house, maybe you could tell us, yeah, is it coming out, the new structure coming out
Okay,
that far?
I see what you're saying. So if you go back to the site plan,
See, this doesn't.
I'm gonna walk over to the board real quick, just kind of
Okay.
show you. So essentially,
You can't talk though.
Do we have a laser pointer for him?
Should be a laser pointer up there.
Is this it?
Yes.
okay. So essentially, the new design is right there. So it doesn't go beyond that, because see the dotted line right here? That's our setback. So our new building is basically coming like this, cutting across, and coming this in this direction.
Are you gonna be able to, pull out of the garage and make this
Yeah.
turn?
But you're not gonna see the garage. That's the one concern that someone had, that you're gonna see that from Main Street. You will not. It's 10 feet below grade.
I think you're gonna see it.
You will not see it.
The other thing, hold on, Sam, I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
The black windows, thank you for all the pictures of the colonial houses. I think 4 or 5 of them have black windows out of 40, the rest are all white. And I stated this before, I think the black is a trend again, and I think it's probably too modern for the historic district.
Okay,
Now
so,
it's up to you.
But even in your own historic guidelines, it shows that windows were, in 1700 to 1790, black. Colonial Revival, 1880 to 1930, they were black. So it's kind of like going around, just like fashion goes around, I think, more than, maybe it is a fad, but it's still a historic feature that has always been there.
Okay, that's all I have. It's up to you.
Okay. One thing is that your survey and your sketch site plan don't match, which you just described to us, because the house on the survey is a complete rectangle, while on the sketch site, on the site plan, it's an L. It has two parts to it, and it's turned to follow the street line of Vineyard, which makes it that much harder to get into the garage. And most people, a lot of people, after they've lived in the house for 5 or 6 years, have accumulated so much stuff that it goes in the garage and they never use the garage again. And I think this is an example of a house where less time, it's so much issue to get the car in the garage that it's only on stormy nights that they'll actually do it.
I understand.
That's just my
Yeah.
opinion.
It's a great opinion.
Also, so all the setback dimensions in the survey are different, are gonna be different from what you plan to build.
Well, I did not know that the drawing by the civil engineer did not reflect this, but essentially, this is the setback right here. That's our buildable envelope right here. And,
Okay.
outside of it being certified, that's essentially what we're proposing. And if that's a requirement, we will just continue and get it hardlined for you for the next meeting. But essentially, it's within all the setbacks right there.
Yeah. So, yeah, but that's not a survey.
No, correct.
So what the main issue is, what is the fact that you turn your back to Main Street with a design that's really not that attractive. And why is it unattractive? For 2 reasons. It's not symmetrical, and I realize you have a kitchen behind that wall, but it's still it takes away from its importance that has already been established by being on the main street. So people see that first. Your front elevation, which you locate on, that will be facing very strongly, actually angled a little bit so that it is visible is semi-attractive. And there are two things that I think should be corrected, and it's difficult to do. Do you see on the rear elevation, the shed dormer that you have there? That shed dormer, the upper roof, continues in a continuous plane to be the roof of the dormer.
You're talking about the rear elevation here, which no one sees?
Not that roof, the upper roof. No, down from the, that one does pop up from the dormer, from the
Garage.
gambrel roof. And that's not really the vernacular. Most Dutch colonials, the upper roof continues out and is the roof of the dormer. So
This is the back of the
so
house.
that's another reason that
Yep.
I'm faulting your elevation that's facing.
Yeah.
And that takes a little working with the proportions of the gambrel itself. And I think you could still accomplish it. You might have to pull the dormer down a little for it to merge with the other roof. Up on the edge. So the pitches of the dormer don't match the pitch of the
Gambrel.
the gambrel behind it. So you already know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And so your vineyard gambrel roof is also it's a little higher. In other words, the two roofs, the gambrel that, let's see, the gambrel that your front and the gambrel of the side that faces Main Street, they don't, well, the pitches do match. Oh, no, it doesn't match. It matches the main structure, but it doesn't match the piece that's in the front that you've pulled.
Correct.
So your gambrel proportions are different on whichever side you're on. And I think an attractive gambrel, one suitable for Main Street, should have a fighting chance at getting all the roofs so that they're of the same part. They sing the same song.
I understand what you're saying. I respectfully disagree. And the reason
Well,
is...
because you couldn't make it.
The reason is the gambrels on all the gable ends match. That's a different proportion to the front. The front is tied in. If you ended up making the same exact pitch, it would come in a little bit. It would come a little in from the gable ends, and so this solution actually is the correct solution to deviate from the other pitches when it's considered the front elevation. As far as the dormers are concerned, the rear dormer is hardly visible to the public from the way the house is situated. And you're essentially going to see the same cheek that you're seeing right here, which represents these two dormers here. And again, we went with this solution to get away from the smaller gambrel, which was in, competition with the front entrance as far as the pitches, and it was different. And apparently, it was a little bit narrower, and apparently you guys liked that pitch better, but when you don't have that as a reference, this is perfectly fine. And again, it's impossible to see this front elevation and the end elevations at the same time. You'd have to have it as a model in front of you, as a built model, to really interpret that distinction.
Well, I just don't agree with that. I think that's the issue of making something work and getting compromised all out of the design. Why did you take the cupola off the lower roof and put it on the upper roof?
Well,
So that it's now non-conforming.
what do you
It's
mean?
above 30 feet.
Cupolas and chimneys don't count.
Excuse me?
Cupolas and chimneys don't count.
Unless,
He is correct. A standard cupola is not counted towards your building height.
so there's no way to get to it? There's no access with the light going down?
They make LEDs, they pretty much have to change the bulb in 10 years, and the upper sash of one of the sides is operable. Essentially, this is a Cape Cod cupola out of Dartmouth, Massachusetts, and they essentially make these and then pretty much drop it directly on top of the roof and end up opening that window and bolting it down on top of the existing asphalt shingle. So you have no idea that it's done that way, but to answer your question, yeah, it's light bulb gets changed every 10 years or so.
So it's a lighted cupola?
Yeah, it'll have a light, yeah.
So the roofing still stays? Okay, it's not penetrated in any way? Okay, good luck. So I'm a little uncertain about the windows going over the front entrance, going to little small awning windows. I think it further, I think if you took those windows out, you would see how your gambro doesn't quite fit. The proportions of the pitches are too shallow, should be steeper. That's what I think.
Doug?
All right. Well, I certainly appreciate the changes that have been made. I agree with the pitch on the dormers on the back, but I understand the philosophy behind it. I don't mind the black windows as Darcy does. I think they're attractive, but my wife doesn't like them, so that's an objective thing. And I'm okay with it sitting on having the Vineyard address, as I noticed the home across the street had that too. So I think these improvements greatly enhance the product that's going to be there, so I don't have any more questions.
Well, yes, Bob?
May I speak? I have one question.
Sure.
Driving east on Main Street, you're gonna change the position of the house. So how much of the front will I see? Aren't you gonna
That's a good
angle
question.
the home?
Yes, so when you're actually, the driveway, the Vineyard Avenue's right there.
Right.
Main Street's right here. So when you drive by, you're gonna see that entire elevation if you're on the right side of the road.
On Main Street, you're
Yeah.
gonna see, so this thing is gonna be turned, and then the garage is gonna be, can you point where
The garage is right here, but again, it's about 10 feet below grade, and
Yeah.
see all these lines going up? That you're like six more feet at the driveway. You're gonna basically see like the middle part of the first floor from Main Street.
okay, so where the current home is with the front steps that Darcy mentioned, how
Yep.
far to the left are the garage doors? So if you're gonna rotate,
So if you look at this picture right
Right.
here, the doors would be essentially kind of like diagonally right here, but you see where the grate is?
yeah,
That is still gonna be there, except you're going down 10 feet. I apologize.
down 10 feet into to the garage level.
Yes, correct.
Yes,
And there's gonna be a retaining wall,
you won't see it from the
but
street.
there will be a retaining wall.
Yep.
And enough room for a car to turn
Sure.
around and go
Yep.
into the garage, okay?
Correct.
Yeah, I like the fact that there's gonna be more visibility. If it's on Vineyard, you're gonna be able to see more from Main Street coming
Yeah.
east, and you probably won't see the back dormers, as you mentioned,
Nope,
in the rear.
Nope.
So, okay, no further questions. And I like the white windows.
if it's a game changer, we'll change them.
No, I walked around town, I'm looking
Yeah,
for black
black,
windows.
yeah.
I didn't see any in the
Yeah,
historic
yeah.
district, so.
No, it's,
We just did a historic building in Barnstable with the black windows. It just set it off.
But they're not as tough as we are. Okay, thank you.
You're
No
right.
further questions.
You're right.
All right, so I thank you for the changes. I think it is an improvement. Why did you choose a gambrel?
it was the client's choice,
It was what?
the client's choice.
I think the client should have chosen a different style of building, Greek Revival, perhaps, a colonial. My problem with this building is that it doesn't fit in the neighborhood or in West Chatham, period. It doesn't fit in the historic district there at all. The design is too large, it's too complicated. It looks like someone had a bucket of windows and decided to use them all up. I had to find a way to use them all up. Way too many details. It looks like a little house that should be on Shore Road someplace or down Highland Avenue, but not there in West Chatham. So as far as being appropriate for the area, I don't think it is at all. It is too convoluted in the design. It's like you had all these things and had to use them. All these little features and had to use them. You could have gotten the same effect, the same room, square footage, everything else, with a Greek Revival in there, and it would fit the neighborhood. This house doesn't fit in that neighborhood at all. There was a gambrel that was built on the end of Pondview Avenue from a house that's the same size as the one that's being proposed to be taken down. And it was a beautiful job. It was all in proportion, and it looks great. This thing just looked so out of place and so out of proportion and awkward, I can't believe it. But
So,
most people want them because they think they get a lot of room. What are your second floor walls, ceiling heights?
8 feet.
They're what?
8 feet. But let me respond to some of your comments, because I wasn't at the previous meeting, and was those similar comments from you expressed at that last meeting? Because that's, like, go back to the drawing boards, kind of comment. So if you had said that at the last meeting, we might have considered, exploring something else. I mean, what, did you?
I don't remember it
I
being
don't remember, I mean,
stated that.
Well, to be very
Emphatically.
honest with you and blunt, it's not up to us to come up with a design, it's up to you to come up with a design that's appropriate and present it to us. If I was asked to draw a house there and the client said, this is the house, I said, no, there's no way. I don't think you get through ZBA if this was, if you had to go to ZBA. I don't think it'd get by him. I think it's too much of a house, too complicated,
Well-
doesn't fit the neighborhood at all.
As I mentioned, I mean, your comments are very, very
I mean,
strong.
I know that you wanted to draw, I know your client wanted one, and you wanted, and you did what your client said, and that's what everybody wanted, but I have never seen a gambrel with so many odd roof angles and so much filigree all around.
The other question is too, you don't want to really, replicate a historic solution, because you confuse people. They think it's a historic house, and it's not. I mean, the original house was built in 74, and it was a, you know, a very modest solution. But, you know, 50 years from now, other board members will be here, and they'll say, you can't touch that house, because it's a perfect example of, you know, new.
I don't think anybody's saying that. I think
Yeah.
it'd be fine to take it down. As I say, I think it's a poor choice. It's a very bad design. I've never seen a window layout like that or a reason for it. You have too many other choices, and this is the historic business district. So consequently, we'd be looking for a historic. Gambrel is historic, but this one's been so, it's like wet clay that got stomped on 6 different ways. Everybody came along and poked their finger in it.
But
I don't mean to be nasty, but it,
No, but to my point, if you had expressed your opinion to that degree at the last meeting, we would have been a little bit more prepared to address some of those issues.
with historic business district, you should have been prepared to begin with. Or you know what you could have done was come in for, and maybe if you want to start over, come in for a pre-application hearing where you could have presented this and gotten all the feedback you wanted instead of coming in. And we could have told you and started from the beginning and had a clean start, so. There's no way, to be honest with you, knowing all the houses down there. Like I said, if you want to dump this in the middle of Highland Avenue someplace or down that way, out behind the Catholic Church, you know, there's enough odd houses down there that might blend in, but that won't blend into Main Street, and it won't blend into Vineyard Avenue. And it's got absolutely nothing to do with the next road, Pondview Avenue. So, or the whole neighborhood, the cornfield, or any of them. There is a gambrel on 28 up there, and it's a standard gambrel. It looks fine. If they wanted, you know, if you wanted to put extra dormers on that, and L off the back, and a garage and everything else in the bottom, that also, folks, has a retaining wall in the front of it, so. This is just, I don't know what to tell you. I know that you could do a nice, you know, like I said, Victorian would be so much cleaner, and you could have all the little overhangs and the L's and the windows and everything else that you want. And it'd be far more fitting than this gambrel, so. But I'm, just my opinion, and I'm one vote here, so that's where we stand.
Mr. Chair. I just noticed that you have a 10-foot floor-to-floor height, which really makes 9-foot ceilings, 9, 8, 6 maybe. That's a little big for here. I mean, maybe they're doing the Mountain Shore Road at 10 feet floor to floor. But
The interior.
we try to keep an 8-foot.
I believe the interiors aren't any part of your jurisdiction.
It is when it concerns the outside. In order to get a 10-foot ceiling on the inside is our jurisdiction, and if it makes the wall height too long and the house too high or inappropriate for the neighborhood, so.
Well, that hasn't been addressed. That wasn't any issues before. So we're talking about the gambrel style that you had the issue with, not the proportions, well, slopes.
I don't know what you expected the last time, but, you know, the house is too high, you're within your 30 feet, but this thing is way out of proportion, just the gambrel that you're showing, the gable that you're showing on the end of that upper right-hand corner is just way out of proportion.
It's below grade. You don't see it that way. I've tried to explain it again. The grade is probably right around here. You drive way down below to get to it, and you're looking from above, from the highway, and you won't be able to see it.
Okay, well, I'm not going to discuss this design any further because I think it's too far to go. I think you really need a different house. I'm sorry that your folks wanted this, but if you want to make this the simplest one possible, they could get a gambrel there. But as far as I'm concerned right now, I couldn't vote for it, not in that area. You want to put it someplace else in town, maybe. So let's take a poll and see where we are. Doug?
I would vote to approve.
Sam?
No.
Darcy?
No.
Bob?
I'd vote to approve.
Okay, and I would not. So that's,
Yeah.
you wouldn't, not gonna,
All right, we'll continue this to the next meeting.
and I think there'd be a bias choice. And I'm sorry that you didn't, meetings, we somehow have to get that out, or make staff aware that, you know, if there's gonna be a serious question, we all would have sat here and worked together to get something.
I appreciate that, and we will have one before the next meeting. Thank you.
Because it's obvious you do a good job, but like I said, there's just too much on there, too many frills. So anyways, all righty, if you want to continue to our next,
Will 2 weeks be enough time?
Yep.
Will you have a site plan where they can see the actual orientation, setbacks, grades, building heights? Because you're gonna need all of that for zoning board.
Yep.
We need all of the information a week in advance. It's Thanksgiving next week, so it makes it a little more difficult. You'd be continued to December 6th. The packets will go out on November 29th.
they need to do, also justify those two plot plans, right?
Yeah.
When would the next informal session be with you folks?
So an informal session, you've already done a full filing. You would have to withdraw this application, submit something new as a pre-application, and that's just a discussion. It's basically nothing different than what you're doing now.
Then we'll just come back again in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So
that's-
when,
I think you
Sarah,
could-
would
I think
the
you got a good
package need
idea
to
now.
be
You
in?
got what you would have gotten in the pre-application, which,
November 29th.
The 29th?
Well, I need to be able to post it on the website. It has to go to the paper on November 21st, because we have to re-advertise. That would be in the November 30th edition of the paper for a December 6th meeting with the board. It's a tight timeline.
Yep.
Um,
December 6th.
The alternative is you could continue to our December 20th meeting.
But we need the package in on the 29th in order to make the December 6th meeting.
At the absolute latest.
Okay. No, understood.
and don't think that there's anybody here, including myself, that doesn't want you to get a nice house up there. So
Yeah.
we're not trying to keep you from building
No, no, no.
anything. It definitely needs, it definitely needs some help. It's an odd-looking little salt box, and I know that you could make it a lot better, something a lot better there. So keep our finger crossed.
All right, thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
a question is, to be clear, is a gambrel out of the question?
no, if it was, Greco's Thatcher Antiques,
Yeah,
that's a plain gambrel,
okay, so it's not out of the question, I just want to make sure that,
yeah.
So are we gonna continue the new construction and the demolition as well?
Yep,
Do I need to do anything? Do I need to make a motion or anything along those
Yeah.
lines?
go ahead.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna make a motion under continued hearing, new construction, application 23118, three-story on Main Street LLC, care of Meager Construction, Inc. Application to construct a new dwelling located at 1369 Main Street, continued from November 1st, 2023, continued till December 6th, 2023.
Darcy Seacon will second the motion.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Ready to vote? Steve?
I would vote to approve.
Burns approves?
Darcy Seacon approves.
Sam Schreiber approves.
Doug Grattan approves.
Dan Silver approves as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Then continued hearing, demolition, application 23117, three-story on Main Street LLC, care of Meager Construction, Inc. Application to demolish the dwelling located at 1369 Main Street, continued from November 1st, 2023, continued to December 6th, 2023.
Darcy Seacon will second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. Bob?
Burns approves?
Darcy?
Darcy approves.
Sam?
Sam Schreiber approves.
Doug Grattan approves.
Dan Silver approves too. And don't be afraid to call staff. They got a pretty good idea of what we're looking for, I mean, they can make, they can't make the decision for us, but they can tell you whether it's likely to go or not. So,
Thank you very much.
and you're more than free, I don't know if it's appropriate. If it's not, Sarah won't let you through, but they can also call me, so. I'm not sure it's appropriate, but anyways, I'm there. Thank you.
Go for it.
Doug Grattan makes a motion to adjourn.
Darcy Seacon approves, seconds the motion and approves. How's that? Skip
Okay,
me.
motion made. Seconded and voted for.
Yep.
Doug?
Doug approves.
Sam Schreiber approves.
Bob?
Burns approves.
Steve?
Steve DeBoer approves.
Dan Silver approved. Jesus, I feel badly.
So do you want these?